By the way, this is not to this is not even to mention. This is not even to mention David Ignatius. David Ignatius with the Washington Post, who is on Morning Joe all the time. I can't tell sometimes when he's talking if he's dead or not. He's an older gentleman, and he's basically been doing propaganda for the CIA and Saudi Arabia for, God, as long as I've been kicking. Now look at this. Look at this. He's written articles like this. A young prince is reimagining Saudi Arabia. Can he make his vision come true? David Ignatius, 2 years into his campaign as a change agent in this conservative oil kingdom, Deputy Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman appears to be gaining the confidence and political clout to push his agenda of economic and social reform. The young prince outlined his plans in a nearly 90-minute conversation Tuesday night at his office here. Aides said it was his first lengthy, on-the-record interview in months. He offered detailed explanations about foreign policy, plans to privatize oil giant Saudi Aramco, strategy for investment in domestic industry, blah, blah, blah. I mean, one would have to ask, how far is David Ignatius and the Washington Post head up Mohammed bin Salman's anus? I mean, that's a puff piece if I ever read one. That's a puff piece if I ever read one. And by the way, just separately, having nothing to do with Saudi Arabia, look at this piece from the New York Times. I couldn't believe it. The New York Times, who, by the way, I believe is in advance of the Oil and Money Conference in London this week, co-hosted by the New York Times and Energy Intelligence. This isn't The Onion, folks. In advance of the Oil and Money Conference in London this week, co-hosted by the New York Times and Energy Intelligence, the Times asked some of the participants to answer this question. What are the biggest challenges your industry is facing, and what is your company doing to address them? Here are their responses. Like, can you imagine a New York Times editor? Like, this is how they would ask in person. What are your biggest challenges as you're destroying the planet, contaminating the water, killing off the wildlife, creating epic, disastrous, murderous storms? What's bothering you at night when you do that? We want to help. Am I being too obtuse? What's bothering you as you destroy the planet? I'm not even going to read that article because it's such propaganda, but I am ashamed to admit that when I was a young lad and I was more and more naive, I once wanted to write for the New York Times. When I was naive and young. I am not that way anymore. But look at this headline. Look at this headline. 5 oil and gas executives in their own words. I mean, why don't you just take them out for a date? Why don't you take them out for a date and do some other things that I can't say on a family program like this on YouTube? It's unbelievable. It is unbelievable. Kendall NX, $5. Comments on the CNN Biden above Bernie poll. Are you hacking my computer, Kendall? That's my next story. Oh, I have comments about that. CNN poll. Yeah, the poll that doesn't interview anyone under 35 years old. That poll? I mean, Tom Friedman, too, with the New York Times, who somehow, I think in that specific job description, it said, we need to find the biggest asshole in all of the continental North America to write for us. And Thomas Friedman got that job because he has been writing about how amazing Saudi Arabia is, what a revolutionary, on the fringes of innovation, the crown princes, as they're committing genocide in Yemen. And he's just is continued to allow to write this stuff for the New York Times. But this is the same paper that helped lead us into the Iraq War. But yet I'm called, not real news. You have all these independent anti-war voices on Facebook being banned, shut down from Facebook. If you haven't watched this, they just purged 800 pages on Facebook. I'm surprised my page hasn't been purged yet. My page is being suppressed on Facebook. That's for sure. But, I'm just waiting to get purged on Facebook, too. So you got the New York Times hosting oil conferences with these fantastic men and women in the oil industry. You have all these media outlets were going to show up and partner with Saudi Arabia for this innovation or whatever it was, investors conference. And you're telling me that me and Jimmy Dore and Lee Camp, and Jamal Thomas and RT America are the toxic ones, that we're the propaganda? Oh my God. This is like 1984, the book. We're living in dystopian alternative times, folks. And it's only going to get worse. It's only going to get worse. That's why we're launching Status Coup. That's why. Oh, this shirt smells so good. It's brand new. You know how to get it. Not going to tell you again. GoFundMe. So, although I obviously feel terrible for Jamal and his family, obviously it looks like they're about to admit that they killed Khashoggi. They're going to come up with a fakakta story about an interrogation gone wrong. Nobody believes that. And then in a few days, the media will go back to what it is, propaganda. They're not going to talk about Saudi Arabia murdering and committing genocide in Yemen. And they're not going to talk about the other atrocities that have happened. Because Mohammed bin Salman basically allows women to drive now. So let's focus on that, which is great, by the way. But, the genocide thing. Oh, well, good luck to those Yemenis, huh? It's unbelievable. It's unbelievable. We are in the twilight zone. We really are.